So the worst day of your life has finally come. You know, your partner has passed away, and your partner of many, many years is no longer with you, at least physically. And that's a really, really tough thing to do. But the next question pops up: what do you do when it comes to estate planning and probate? Well, I want to talk to you today about that. You know, it's going to happen to a lot of us, and unfortunately, it's just kind of a matter of time. So, as for preparation, if you have any other questions on this, you can email me directly or go to my website, www.legionlawpllc.com, to schedule a consultation with me over the phone. So, what happens? What's the next steps, I guess, after you bury somebody? And the short answer is that you have your time. You have time. If you have a will, great, because you only need to probate that within the next 4 years before that will is invalid. And if you don't have a will, then you technically have all the time in the world. Granted, take your time to process, to get your feet underneath you, to feel the feelings you need to feel. And then once you feel at least a little bit ready, I would recommend talking to an attorney to figure out what your next options are. Because at the end of the day, if you don't go through probate, the assets are going to be frozen as they are. So if you live in a house, you can live there still, but you can't sell the house. If you access an account, great. You can access the money in the account, but you can't close the account. You can't transfer the account. If a retirement account is in your deceased person's name, there's nothing you can do except go through probate to access that account. So that's kind of the situation on that front. I would mourn, I would get my feet underneath me, and then talk to an attorney about my next options. Most of the time, the conversation is going to look like, hey, is there a will? Hey, who are the beneficiaries? We have to identify those people. And then, can we find them? Do we know how to access them? Can they sign documents? Can they notarize? Can they scan and send it? And then, last but not least, we need to figure out where to file the documents. So you have an initial consultation, you figure out all that information, you take care of your signing up and fees and all that stuff, and then we start getting the paperwork ready. Once the paperwork's ready, we sign it, we file it, and then the judge is going to review that paperwork. Now, in the meantime, there are requirements in Texas where you have to go out and about and start posting on newspapers. You have to take your notice and put it on the courthouse door, have the sheriff do it. You have to do all sorts of really strange things that I personally don't understand, but they are the law. And that's where the attorney will step in and make sure all that's taken care of. But that's kind of the first step, is that we have to figure out where the will is located, if at all. We have to figure out who the beneficiaries are, how to access them, and what kind of logistics are we worried about in the future. And so if we can address all of that before we file the initial application for probate, then things can go much smoother because we know how to address any kind of new situation popping up. So in other words, you don't have a rush per se. In some states like Florida, I think you only have like 10 days before you need to file the will. But in Texas, you can wait 4 years. Granted, during that 4 years, everything's frozen in place. So usually the sooner the better. But take your time, get your feet underneath you, get ready for probate, and then we need to figure out the logistics of probate. We figure all that out, then we file. And once we file, then you go to court and you testify, we sign documents, we do a whole bunch of different things. But that's generally the initial steps after someone's passed away. So don't feel rushed, don't feel like you have to do this right now, but at the same time, it does need to get done eventually. So if you have any questions on this or anything else, you can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can go to my website, www.legionlawpllc.com, and you can schedule a free consultation on the phone with me for free. So thank you so much, and have a great day.